Let's make everything explode. What's the worst that could happen? Cutting the Earth in half? Oh no. Well, I'm going to Jupiter, I guess. Bye. I'm Araknie, and during my travel to my new planet, I will tell you all about Metal Black. To not be confused with black metal, that I know for sure doesn't exist. So this is a shoot 'em up by title. Pretty standard genre for the arcade scene, but it has a story, so let's see it already because it's going by fast. So this is, wait a minute, Project Gun Frontier 2? Since when? They just slapped a name for no reason because the enemies are not made of guns, they're more made of fish. Like in Darius. What the fuck is going on? The story. You're going around with a new ship defeating aliens and defending what remains of planet Earth, and then fish aliens come about, with also alive and functioning organism for reproducing more monsters. Once defeated, you'll win, or you'll be dead. And that's the good ending. Apparently I got it first try this time around. There's some action you can do that nets you the bad one like in Gun Frontier 1. But on this playthrough I somehow avoided it. Don't really know how that happens, I just play the game. But the enemies, the story, the music, this is just Darius. They wanted to make a game in that series and then got cold feet at what they achieved. How lame. Developers need more courage in their ideas. I don't expect a software house that made Puli Rula to get scared of what they've created. Oh well, let's just talk about the game. I'm done with being confused, fucking title all the time. It's very standard gameplay, but unlike what they pretend to be a sequel to a game with gun-shaped enemies, this one is a horizontal scroller. Because they were making a Darius game. I ain't relenting from this fact. You can't beat me. I've got reality and a solery on my side. Well, yes, let's continue. The most interesting and new thing about this is the way you charge your weapon and use your special, because they are tied to each other. Getting these small pieces of DNA, similar to Darius power-ups, got them once again, will power up your attack more and more until you get into level 5 and beyond. These numbers are just going insane! If you can manage to save this much power and use it against the boss with button 2, you're going to do massive destructive damage. They will go into embarrassed mode and get really flustered. Be careful, they might throw some surprises in those cases. But I gotta say, the first 2 levels really trick you into thinking this has a nice difficulty curve. Nope, from stage 3 onwards it starts to hit you in the face with evil intentions and doesn't relent. Not that it's badly made, since there's a lot of creativity and funny encounters, but yeah, it gets quite difficult all of a sudden. That classic arcade feeling of you've got a taste of our game for 1 credit, now pay until your mom screams at you. I'm fine with hard difficulties, just have a curve and not a spike. But yeah, I liked the bosses, even if the levels disappointed me. Against those, at least you feel like you have a chance, even the final one. As soon as you discover that you have more space than what you might think, it gets alright and difficult, but tolerable. That makes it even more unfortunate that the levels were so unbalanced. They've really got something under all this mess that could be polished into a little masterpiece. Needs a complete rework after the second boss till the end, but the basis is there. The art of it instead is once again a huge miss for me. What might have been impressive for 1991 looks like a bunch of aged textures that don't make use of sprites aside from the enemies. It's an artistic clash that really wasn't needed. Because there's colors, there's location variety, it's just missing some clear readability. That doesn't help in seeing the bullets, as you probably experienced yourself, and in a game like this, it's fundamental. I was getting really hyped on the final stage before the boss because of the all inside the alien thing, but after a slow beginning there are just enough enemies and bullets on screen that I can't even enjoy these backgrounds. Musically, once again, is where the game shines the best. With a soundtrack that is surprisingly varied. They wanted to really obfuscate the normal sci-fi feeling of the genre and gave it a weird and strangely melodic OST. That sometimes jumps in and out of rhythm, making you think it's used in a diegetic way to counter what's happening on screen. but in reality they just time the music with scrolling, presuming you keep playing and don't game over. That's really clever. Also, the music loops only when the same level changes a bit of scenery, since every stage has multiple parts and changes in style and locations even without loading the next one. That's incredibly well done. And I liked almost all the music while fighting the normal fodder, but the boss music only was important to the ears against the first one. And the final boss, that can be considered a stage in itself. You'll see, it's a surprising tour de force of visuals and ramping of difficulty, while still using the basic concept of the boss even in the music and iterating on it. The good ending boss fight is probably the most well-designed part of the game, at least it ends on a high note. Because Metal Black deserves a 6.5 out of 10, in between a decent and a good title. Really, they need to solve these issues in these arcade genres. Can't always be taken by surprise without getting any warning on the number of enemies on screen you're gonna get next. It's always so over the top and all of a sudden. At this point, I'm starting to prefer when these start already hard from the beginning. At least I feel like there's more consistency in the game design in those cases. If you wanna see me play the games that I will review plus some extra stuff, catch me on Twitch at Araknie Retro. It's my natural habitat, you see. Until next time, ciao ciao!